So I have here my mesh and leg armature right here, and if we get out of pose mode really quickly and we look at the mesh, this is the completed mesh of the Wanderer that I've constructed so far. Feeling pretty good about him. But let's go back into the armature section and go into pose mode, and we'll see that when I grab these IK constraint bones that are associated with this action animation, we'll see that if I lift this up that it will affect that mesh in an appropriate way. So I'm just going to really quickly show how this will kind of work, hopefully, for this mesh. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make this mesh have a parent relationship with the armature with some automatic weight. And this should technically, yeah. So this, as you can see, the bones that are of this armature will actually affect the mesh that I've built. So if I move this foot around, it's going to be working in an IK relationship, an inverse kinematic relationship, so that when I move the leg bones, it will be associated with each individual leg. So what's nice about this IK constraint is that that I can get a lot of flexibility with the actual mesh structure without affecting the rest of the body. So these legs are acting fairly independently of the rest of the mesh, and it might look a little bit funky right now just because I haven't associated the correct weight painting of this mesh with the bones in a way that I would normally want to. So if I can show you that really quickly by selecting these guys and getting out of pose mode and selecting the mesh, and then when I select these, you should be able to see the weight painting relationships of each one of these meshes. Doesn't seem like that's really making much of a difference right now, but I'm going to go in and then paint this mesh with this brush that I have selected so that each one of these bones is actually associating correctly with the correct weight distribution. So what that does is that actually says that, okay, for this bone, for instance, I want it to affect this area, and I want this bone to affect this area, so on and so forth. So even if I zoom in right now, you can see that this tiptoe bone is only affecting a little bit of the mesh right now, and this tarpal bone is affecting a lot of the mesh in a way that I don't really want it to affect, and similarly this leg bone is not affecting as much as I'd want it to, and this leg bone right here should be affecting this whole area, and this leg bone is, with the automatic weights that I put on it, is affecting this area that I don't want it to at all. I want it actually to affect this other way. So that will take a bit of finagling on my part, but it won't be too tedious or too tiresome. It'll just take a little bit of time. So probably if I go back and I get out of this relationship, this parent relationship that I've made, then the bone relationships should be actually a little bit more accurate, so that when I actually make this parent and child relationship, it won't be as wonky as it is right now.